What's going on, everybody? It's that time of year again where grocery stores and Costco alike are selling these pre-brined corned beefs in anticipation for St. Patrick's Day. We are turning this corned beef into pastrami, a lazy man's pastrami. In this video, I'm going to turn this into this pastrami. Corned beef and pastrami are both brisket. They're both brined pretty much the same way. The only difference is how you cook them. So if you take one of these pre-brined corned beefs and you smoke it instead of boiling it or putting it in your oven for a typical St. Patrick's Day corned beef, you get pastrami. So we're going to season this just like we would a brisket. We're going to smoke it and see how it comes out. Now this is a flat. It's almost 6 pounds. I got this at Costco for 30 bucks. So that's a lot of brisket there for 30 bucks. Unfortunately, it's just the flat. Typically they sell the point or the flat separate. I couldn't find any points. I would prefer to use the point, but this is not too bad looking. This is nowhere near the quality of taking a packer brisket, brining it yourself for 7 to 10 days, and making some actual legit pastrami. This is going to be no Katz's Deli in New York City quality pastrami either, but it's going to be pretty good for the price and the abundance of these. It's a fun thing to do in the backyard. Straight out of the package, this didn't look too bad. There was still a little fat cap, although they scalped it in one spot. Other than that, I just removed the silver skin and some excess fat along the flat and some of the waxier fat where the point connected to the flat. I didn't go crazy shaping this up. I think next time maybe I will cut the thinner parts of the flat away. Here I'm just cutting against the grain so I remember which way to slice when this thing comes off the smoker. I seasoned all sides of this pretty liberally with just salt and pepper. That's 2 parts pepper, 1 part salt with a yellow mustard binder. I got the pit fired up to 250 degrees and we are ready to throw this brisket on. Placing this on the smoker as far away from the firebox as possible and the thicker part of the flat towards the fire. So from here, I'm just going to treat this like a brisket cook, keeping in mind that this is just the flat. I'm anticipating about 7 to 8 hours for this 6-pound brisket flat, and I'm just going to manage the fire and cook it like I would a brisket. Three-hour check-in, and we are getting some pretty nice color. Those edges that I mentioned before are kind of crisping up and curling up a little bit, but it's looking pretty good. All right, we're about 6 hours in. We've been rolling at like a steady 250, 275 throughout this cook, and we're just gonna have a look and see how this pastrami's looking. Looking pretty good. Bark is starting to set and this continues to curl up. Definitely just cut that off if you do this yourself. Aside some imperfections with how this came out of the package with the way it was butchered, I'm pretty happy with it so far. Just where they scalped the flat there, just a little wet spot here. The rest of the bark's forming pretty nicely. I'm gonna keep rolling here for probably another couple hours and then we'll wrap her up. I'm not even gonna start taking the temps yet, it's still pretty firm. All right, we are 8.5 hours into this smoke and we are temping at 190 degrees internal. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna bring it inside and I'm gonna hold it overnight in a warming oven at 145 degrees, wrapped with some tallow and foil. Let's take a look. I'm happy with the bark on this and it smells absolutely incredible. It also looks like it has some battle scars from getting stabbed a bunch of times. Again, that's just from how it was butchered and being a $30 packaged corned beef. Overall, not too bad. This is exactly what I was hoping this would look like after 8 hours. We're gonna close up shop here on the smoker, close the damper down, and close the door, and we're all set. Let's go inside. I want to stress something here since I'm pulling this off at 190 degrees. Cook this like you would any other brisket. I pulled it at 190 because I have a warmer, and I'm going to hold this at 140, 145 for 12 to 15 hours, wrapped in foil with tallow. Most people don't have a warmer. You could definitely use your oven, but most ovens don't go below 170. I wouldn't do 12 or 15 hours at 170. I would do 6 to 8. You could also just treat this like a normal brisket. Wrap it at 165 to 180 and take it up to 200, 203. Rest it for 2 hours and eat it right away. The main reason I'm holding this thing overnight is because this came off the smoker at 9:30 p.m. I will check back with you guys after this rests. I'm very excited to see how it comes out. All right, here we are 15 hours later. Let's have a look and eat this pastrami. This is smelling insanely good, and just by picking it up, it feels awesome. Very happy with the bark, and it just feels so tender. I spooned a little bit of the rendered tallow in the bottom of the foil right over the top of this before slicing. I haven't even sliced it yet. I know it's going to be good, and I just can't believe this was 30 bucks. Here's the notch that I made to ensure I'm cutting against the grain, and let's see how we did. I've done this in years past, and this is probably the best one that I've done. I was surprised it retained moisture even though this is just the flat. The fat rendered nicely. You could see the caramelized color on the fat cap. The bark is incredible with lots of flavor. Overall, this was melt in your mouth. It got a little tender on some of the sides. You could see how it fell apart. The very edge of this piece here. We have rendered fat, we have a good bark, and the moisture on this flat is surprising. When I've done this before, I've sliced it thin for sandwiches and like vacuum sealed and saved pastrami for sandwiches, but this is almost too good to do that. I want to eat all of this for dinner. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool pastrami hack, and I think it's damn worth giving a shot in your backyard. This was a fun cook. These corned beefs are everywhere this time of year. They're cheap, and you'll have to let me know if you think this is cheating. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're new here and you want to follow along for more, drop me a subscription. I got a lot of content planned this year. Thank you.